So today I had my first orientation for the summer. Not for the school year per se, but for our summer bridge program. And it was interesting. I've done these things many times in the past, going into my 19th year officially in the school system. I've had to do many orientations, whether it's introducing parents to a new school community, introducing them to a new school year, staff members, or even programs that we have going on at the school. Today was no different, apart from the fact that it actually hit me more so than usual about the fact that I had, count them, three families initially, what ended up being five families that showed up. Even though we have a commitment of 55 children for our summer bridge math program, we only had five parents show up, which I understand because, again, it was at 4 o'clock. We have a lot of families who work, a lot of families who have multiple children in the household. So just being able to appear at the school, it's not always the most easiest thing to do because you have commitments. But it still did make me wonder. It makes me wonder about how much, as school leaders or even schools, we often make judgments about families because they're not there. Because I felt myself in that space where I was like, wow, is this a message of how people feel about their children and the children's education and the school? But at the same time, I had to, check myself because one of the things that we often forget is just that society doesn't make it easy for parents to really be fully involved in their children's schooling, especially in the inner city, especially in poor communities. I grew up in one of those communities. For my father to appear at my school for anything other than me being in trouble was very difficult because when he showed up because I was in trouble, he knew he had to be there because there's a good chance that if he wasn't there to plead my case, to make sure that if I was being suspended or whatever the case may be, that he could work with the school to make sure it was something that wasn't excessive because he literally couldn't spend any more time from work. Just being there at that moment in time was that exactly. He was being taken time away from work, and his job wasn't a salary job. It was per hour. So if he wasn't there, he was getting paid. So when it came to the good things that were happening, whether I was getting an award or there was a celebration or sporting activity, he wasn't there. Not because he didn't want to be there, but him being there still meant that he was taking away, time from work, which again, he wasn't salaried. So him being away from work meant that he wasn't going to get paid. He wouldn't be able to take care of the family as he wanted to. So it's always interesting because often when bad things happen, we demand parents are there, and there's a threat behind that, But when good things happen, we welcome families, but we don't realize that there's a choice they have to make, and that choice often requires that they're not there, unless it's serious enough for them to be there. That's why it's important that we give our parents a lot of credit for the choices they have to make, often around whether to be there for the good things, for the important things that can move their kids forward and sacrifice wages versus being there for those things that are serious that can result in more sacrificed wages. I know, I just thought about that, and I thought to myself, we have to do more to bless our families for their level of involvement. Even those who can't be, still acknowledge them, because at the end of the day, society doesn't make it any easier for them, to be present. And sometimes I wonder whether that's intentional, because I wonder how much it would take away from companies to say, hey, if you have the evidence to support you being at the school because your child's receiving an award or is graduating or it's playing that championship game, we will cover you to go be with your family. Because we know if you're with your family, you will be in a better mood. You will be a better worker. Just in general, you feel good about being at work because your job also recognizes how important family is. And I wonder how that would impact our kids, especially seeing that a lot of them, it's very hard to get their parents in the building. So even when they've done good things, the parents are not there to celebrate with them. I know as a child that impacted me deeply. I played football in high school. I ran track. I did kickboxing. And my parents never saw me compete. When I was younger, I used to think, they just didn't care because I was young. But now as an adult, as a parent, I realize that sometimes being there for the good things means sacrificing, the things that the family needs to survive, And then when they were there for the bad things, it was because they had to be there and they had no choice. And in that space, I was causing them to sacrifice, resources and funds and income because of my behavior. It's one of those things now as an adult I understand. As a child, I didn't understand that. But either way, educators, parents are not refusing to appear just because they don't want to be there. There's always these mitigating circumstances that we often fail to see. So give our parents a little bit of grace, especially those who are living in situations where they have very little choice in what they can or can't do. Well, this is something I hope helps someone out there who's watching this. And if you're a parent watching this, thank you for doing what you do, and thank you for making efforts that you can make. And we see you. Just because you're not there, we know it's not because you don't want to be there. Sometimes you have no choice but to be where you are versus where you want to be. This is Uche Njoku, Sneaker Principal, and until next time, be well.